Is there anything from your character that you have taken with you personally?
नहीं नहीं कभी नहीं बिल्कुल घर लेके नहीं जाना मुझे आई नेवर डू दैट इन माय लाइफ उधर ही छोड़ के जाता हूँ इनफैक्ट like the day it's over because I always believe in one thing. I told you that I am a very surrendering character, you know, actor, because I completely surrender to my chief, to my director, to my team. And the time he says, okay, cut, fantastic, moving ahead, I'm also moving ahead in life. So, so
Wow.
nothing going to take that.
Thank
But
you. Yeah.
that's what, once it's delivered, it's delivered, it's archived. So you have to like it.
I want to know that considering this role that you play in Poacher, it's based on a real life person. I'm sure there's a lot that goes behind the craft. But I want to know that, what was that key factor for you or slash factors that, made you say yes for the part?
My gut. This was one of the easiest yeses that I have said. It checked all the boxes, except the scenario wasn't that straightforward for me because this wasn't a project that was offered to me for me to pick whether I wanted to say yes or no to. This was a project that I was approached to audition for. So the moment when I was, to quickly go through how it happened, the moment I was approached for the audition, I was instantly excited because of Richie. That's all I knew at that point, that Richie Mehta is doing a show and I've been offered an audition, a chance to audition for it. And I knew him as a maker and I was supremely excited by his work and I really, really wanted to collaborate. So the audition happened. Luckily, I got the part. Then I get the script to read, right? And he's one of the best writers whose works I've read, who I've gotten to collaborate with. It was such an exciting script. It's so strange because it's all based on true events and you can't write fiction that way. Richie said this multiple times. It doesn't follow a formula. It doesn't have a set structure that we're familiar with. These guys have nothing to go with in their investigation, nothing to assist them, no systems in place, no guns to pull out. It's all jugaad. So it seemed like such a fun script to play. The character the real life person who my character is based on, the character, the way it's written, he's a computer programmer, he works in the Wildlife Trust of India, he's deeply interested in snakes, he's making an app on snakes, he's a family man, he's a man who leads multiple lives, keeps a lot of secrets, does a lot of dangerous things, puts his life on the line for nothing in return. None of these things I do. So it was so exciting to attempt to be that person. So yeah, it was something that checked all the boxes.
First of all, thank you so much. It was really an amazing trailer. We really enjoyed it. And especially as people coming from Kerala, we would like to say that, there is this part. Thank you so much, Richie, for bringing up this story because there is something that we are really not proud of and the world really wants to know. So the question is to Roshan. Roshan, you have worked with Nimisha on Hrithik in Dalligese and also shared screen with Alia in Darling. So how was your experience working with such a stellar cast in Poacher and also directed by Richie? And how did you feel when you heard that Alia is backing up this project as an executive producer?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Yeah, Nimisha has been such a fabulous performer in Malayalam since the first film that she did there, and she's been an actor who I'd been waiting to work with. Hrithik and Talligese, the project you mentioned, was the first time I got to work with her, which also happens to be the set on which I received the script for Poacher and read it. And I found out that Nimisha was also going to be part of the show. And this was a period where Nimisha and I did 3 projects together in a row. And it was the most magical journey that I've had with any co-actor. Firstly, this was the first series I did. This was the first time I traveled with a cast and a particular character with a crew for this long a period of time. And then there was all the work that Nimisha and I had done before that. So it was great to have that chemistry when the project began because once you watch the show, you'll know these guys are already friends from before the story begins in Poacher. So it was nice to be able to bring that on set, pre-set, and it was already in place, at least that part of it. That's a sense of comfort, that an actor can really use, especially on the first few days of shoot. She's also an incredibly exciting co-actor to work with because Ali and I were discussing this earlier. She's unpredictable. So you can't go in with a set plan on how you want to play a scene out because Nimisha will break that for you. So you have to be there, be very much in the moment and react to what's happening or what she's throwing at you. And she's great to, play tennis with. while we're doing a scene, acting tennis, yeah. Then I think overall, I mean, like Nimisha, Dibyendu sir, the rest of the cast, the crew that I got to work with on Poacher, Johanna, cinematographer, Richie, these are all people who I had a great time with, but that's very personal. But professionally speaking, these are all people who inspired me on a daily basis, which is also one of the reasons why the show and the period of time we spend shooting for it stays memorable, because 4 months is a long time if you're not happy on a set. So I like that's something I'm very grateful for. About Alia being here, I am happy, I am honored, and I'm supremely grateful for that, because the last time I was on a stage that was this big, in front of a crowd that was this big, was for a project that gave birth to Eternal Sunshine Productions, and that was a song launch, and at that point Alia was my co-actor. And it was also one of, I think, the most memorable, biggest projects in my career so far, something I was very fortunate to be part of. And through that journey, I mean, I always knew Alia as an artist through the work that she's done, and I have a great deal of respect for her and the work that she chooses to do and how she does it. But also as a person, from the little that I know of her, she's somebody who's very driven by passion, driven by emotion. You must have noticed how earlier when she got a question about her vision with the project, her answer was very rooted in emotion. So for somebody who works with that focus, somebody who's driven by what the heart wants, I'm very, very glad that Alia is associated with this project, and how graciously she's been sort of tilting the spotlight towards the show and the rest of us. You know, we're extremely thankful for that, Alia. And I also, you know, the optimist in me wants to continue believing that when you do something with a lot of heart and with the right intent and with empathy and do it sensitively, good things happen. Like Amazon Prime getting on board and Alia associating with the project and all of you turning up here today. So thank you to all of you.